Madam Mayor, Councillors, thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight. As you're aware, or most of you are aware, I'm against the recommendations that were made in the report of the review. And I'd like to sum them up in three main issues. The first one is local democracy. You're all here because of local democracy. You were voted, you got the vote, and you came and sat down and you made decisions for the people of the area. Funtley Village was asked if they wanted a parish council, and a lot of people stood up and said they did. Some people said they didn't, but that is local democracy. The majority of people wanted a parish council. Those that didn't vote, then you ignore them. It's a bit like the 14 million people who didn't vote for Brexit. They wasted their vote. It didn't make a difference. But the 1 million who said that we should leave, we left. So local democracy is key. Democracy shouldn't be ignored. That's my first point. The second point is the precept. And I'm working on the two reports that came out during the review. A lot of us talked about the precept about how it would be uncontrolled. Why should it be uncontrolled? People are voted in to run a parish council, they will control the money. You control the council tax. I pay your council tax. You don't let your council tax get out of control. You don't, because you know that people like me would vote you out and you'd be gone. So you control the council tax, plus the government tells you to control it as well. But you control it, and so would a parish council. There's no reason why it should be going out of control. And that precept would be used for people of Funtley like myself. It's only used for them. You say that the borough would put money into Funtley, but why should it? There's lots of people screaming for money. But if Funtley had a parish council, had its own money, it could spend it for the good of those people. I'm sure that many of the people in there were the elderly and the infirm, perhaps, of Funtley, who didn't want to pay more money, and I understand that. But they get the benefits to support that. But also there's no reason why you can't spend the parish council money on the infirm and on the elderly, because that's what it's for. That's what old parish councils did, looked after people in the parish. They can also attain more funds than perhaps the borough can, because parish councils can attain funds that you perhaps can't. So it would attract money and give money to the parish as a whole. So the precept, I think, is controlled by people. If they don't control it, they get voted out and people change it, because it's the people's will of what gets done in Funtley. The third one is the most important thing, community cohesion. The government paper that you recommended, or you reference, is in that study, talks of community cohesion, and the government is pushing it. You will not get community cohesion if you leave things as they are. You need a parish council. If you look at the facts that are written down, especially in the interim report, the facts state that the Funtley Village Society is not liked. Several people in the village do not like them. Interfering busybodies. I had bad mail pushed through my letterbox by somebody who was anonymous, so he's very brave, to say that he did not like the Village Society because they're interfering busybodies and they're newbies. Which is quite right. Most of us are newbies. Some of those people have been there their families have been there for 100 years. So what you're trying to bring together is the people who've lived in a village for hundreds of years, and then we get all the new buildings built, and then you're going to get the problem because you've got newbies in there as well as old people. Community cohesion can be brought together by a parish council. It gets voted by all within that area. They vote them in, they vote them out. They've all got to stay. Everybody's got to say. Not just the village society. They do a good job. Friends are probably up there shouting at me now, or thinking of shouting at me. They all do a good job. They do a good job. They don't get paid for it like you do. They do it just for the benefit of the people within that group. They probably spend their own money doing it too. But you cannot please people all of the time. And I'm afraid they are disliked. So why leave them there? Why leave a village society that is disliked and fancy busybodies? I'm sorry, but they shouldn't be the ones that lead down there. There should be a parish council that everybody can vote for, and the people can come in there, do what the people of Funtley want, and then get on with it. And if they don't like it, they'll change it because they'll vote. So, as I say, three main points. Local democracy, they want a parish council, let's have a parish council. Secondly, not uncontrolled money, it will be controlled, and I think more money would come in, and Funtley would do well by that money. And community cohesion, I don't think you'll get community cohesion if you stay things as they are. I think there should be a parish council. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Percival, would you like to come up and give your deputation, please?
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Councillors. My name is Clive Percival, and I'm making this deputation on behalf of the Funtley Village Society, of which I'm a member, having been a Funtley resident for some 16 years. Whether that makes me a newbie or not, I'm not quite sure. The reason the Funtley Village Society is represented here today is not to pursue some self-serving agenda, but to act as a voice for the majority of the residents of Funtley. If they hadn't voted for a parish council, we wouldn't be here. I shall address the issue of parish council in two parts, under the headings that I've called process and principle. Under the term process, I should like to address the benefits of a parish council over other possible forms of local representation and correct any misapprehensions that may exist as to their powers and sources of finance. You will all have received a considerable weight of literature and communication on this subject, but I'm aware of how busy you are and will praise you the key issues relating to the subject. I'll begin with a quotation from a letter which you should all have received copies of, from Professor Colin Copus, who heads the Local Government Research Unit in the Department of Politics and Public Policy at De Montfort University. And he says it better than I probably could. A parish and town council, as a statutory body, provides a degree of cohesion and certainty to communities and to community action that cannot be provided by voluntary organisations alone. Indeed, a parish council, with its electoral mandate, or using its position of authority, can legitimately stimulate community action, bring communities together, provide a channel for communities into other elected and non-elected bodies, and act as the centre of community activity. Non-statutory bodies and voluntary organisations, while having a valuable role to play in communities, cannot act with the authority of a parish council. A parish council provides the principal authority with a single and legitimised point of contact and a body through which it can explore how to encourage, facilitate and sustain community engagement with both the parish and the borough council to mutual benefit. Moreover, parish councils can actively stimulate greater public engagement with local democracy and local decision making and provide extended opportunities for citizens to take up public office. Thus, a parish council for Funtley will fulfil a vital role in enhancing and improving local engagement and local democracy and should therefore be welcomed. It's not our intention that a parish council should form a separate focus of power and authority in competition with the borough council. On the contrary, the parish council would provide a cooperative bridge between the community and the borough to the benefit of both. Because it has an electoral mandate, a parish council is able to raise funds for the benefit of the parish from a number of sources, such as, but not limited to, the National Lottery, the small grant schemes and various other sources. The key here is the electoral mandate. It has been suggested that a parish meeting might provide an acceptable alternative. But again, such an arrangement would lack the ability to raise funds for community projects from all the sources that might be available to a parish council. Not to mention the fact that such an option was never put to the community as part of the community governance review and has therefore not been considered by the community in that context. The same reservation exists concerning the proposal in your own Democratic Services Department report that the Funtley Village Society, acting in concert with local ward councillors, would provide for the desired community cohesion. We repudiate this proposition on the same grounds that I've already described. The precept. True, it is uncapped and open to increase where the benefits are clearly apparent and supported by the community. It has been the experience of many small communities that increases have been approved when the value attached to the increase has been recognised. On the other hand, increases are not inevitable, And having a good parish clerk is like having a good accountant. That person should provide benefits in excess of their cost. I'll now turn to my second heading that I've called principle. And the principle in question, of course, is democracy. It has been pointed out in your report, no doubt accurately, that the Community Governance Review was a consultation, not a referendum or an election. However, whatever it was called, it was without doubt a measurement of community opinion. And where that measure produces a clear majority in favour of a parish council, natural justice requires a presumption in favour of implementation of that desired outcome, unless there is an overriding necessity to set it aside. If such an overriding necessity exists, in this case, we have yet to be informed of it. Contained within your report are some statistics arising from the consultation, which I should like to compare with certain other figures that I feel are relevant. The Funtley response ratio, equivalent to the turnout in electoral terms, was 40.7%. At the 2016 local election, Fareham North Ward, the turnout was 41%, a difference of 0.3. The share of the vote in favour of a parish council of those who responded, 74.5%. The share of the vote for the Fareham North Ward in the local election was 51.2%. In terms of percentage of the potential electorate, the majority for, well, the vote in favour of a parish council was 30.27% of all possible electors. The result for the Fareham North Ward local election on the same criteria was 20.8%. So wouldn't our local ward council like to have a mandate the size of that for Funtley Parish Council? Nevertheless, I'm not here to throw stones at our councillors, with whom we enjoy and I hope will continue to enjoy a cordial and collaborative relationship. However, the crux of our argument is that what is a valid result for the election of our councillors must be equally valid when it comes to support for a parish council in Funtley. Not much weight seems to have been given to the views and concerns of those who voted for the losing candidates of the local elections, so why is so much weight placed on those of the dissenters in the Funtley consultation? It is a fundamental tenet of democratic government that the views of the majority shall prevail. Imagine the outcry if the Remain sympathisers in Parliament had decided that Brexit did not carry a high enough majority and that the referendum result should be set aside in the interests of the minority. In conclusion, I urge you all to consider your responsibility to deliver democratic government to Fareham and its constituent wards and communities. This is well summed up in the last line of a recent letter from our new Prime Minister, Theresa May. Because we're going to give people more control over their lives, that's how together we will build a better Britain. The people of Funtley have expressed their wish for a future in which they have a greater say in their local governance and an opportunity to access funds which will enable the realisation of more projects and facilities for their village. As a matter of democratic principle, as well as practical community politics, I urge you to vote in favour of the Funtley Parish Council. Simply put, vote for democracy. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Percy.